What's up, tribe? This is going to be your review for Married at First Sight, Season 12, Episode 5. So we start this episode off with a very dramatic Chris talking to the producers, talking about you need to tell her, you need to tell her, you need to tell her, and him saying, I don't want to tell her, I'm not ready to tell her, I don't want to tell her. We have Paige pacing back and forth in the hallway in her damn robe, and, that's where we start off, okay? So then they go back 2 hours earlier, right? So let's just go couple by couple, child. So let me go on and get to my notes, man, so I can remember all these people's names. Claire and Ryan. So Clara and Ryan. So, they seem to be getting along really well, right? They seem to be getting along really well. They had breakfast. Now, and they ended up going to the aquarium. Like, all of the couples went out on a date, and then they went to dinner, and then they met up later on. So that's sort of the formula, except for Chris and Paige, child, because they got some drama going on. But everybody else, they had a date, and then they had dinner, and then they all met up later on. Like, all of the couples met up for a little powwow, right? So Claire and Ryan are getting along. Like I said, they seem to be getting along really well. They went to the aquarium for their date, and they had a good time. They fed the dolphins. They took pictures with the dolphin. All that good stuff. The biggest thing, the conflict with them seemed to be, they talked a little bit about religion and stuff, and Claire's thing was, listen, I don't have a problem with raising our children in religion. I just don't want to force religion on them. And Ryan was like, okay, I can see that. Claire talked about how she is very messy and how her lifestyle has always been hard because she's a flight attendant, and how she said, I'm late for stuff all the time because if my flight comes in late, then I'm going to be running late. She said, and I miss things sometimes. I've missed birthdays, I've missed holidays. Like, it's just my lifestyle. And you could tell that sort of kind of hit Ryan a little bit, like, okay, that's definitely going to be something I'm going to have to adjust to. And then they talked about, Ryan, was talking, I guess they've decided they're going to move into Ryan's home. And, Ryan kept, Claire's biggest thing was, I just don't want it to be a situation where I'm moving into your house. Like, I want to feel like it is our home. I don't want it to feel like I moved into your home. And so, Ryan was like, well, that's cool. And Claire is concerned because, one, Ryan's never lived with a woman before. And she said, it's a very, very different situation when you live with somebody. She said, I've been in that situation where you have a relationship, things are going really, really well until y'all move in with each other, and then it's a whole different beast. It's a whole different animal when y'all go to move in with each other. And so that was an issue. But overall, they do seem to be getting along really well, and I still think they're gonna have some things to kind of overcome, but they do seem to be getting to know each other and learning about each other and things like that. Now, Virginia and Eric, okay, listen. Now, they on their way to the pool, but Virginia is putting on a full face of hair and wants to curl her hair. I mean, full face of makeup and wants to curl her hair. And Eric is like, I'm not understanding why you doing all that for us to get in the pool. And she was like, because I'm not going to get in the water. He was like, well, then why are we going to the pool if you're not going to get in the water? He was like, I want you to get in the water with me. She was like, okay, well, I'll get in the water. I'm just not going to put my head underwater. Now, let's be clear. A lot of people do that. They go to the pool with no intentions of getting in the pool. It's not a big deal. But I think Eric was just like, girl, why are we wait, like, you're late all the time. And that came up the fact that she's always running late. And she talks about how she's late for work every day. And he was like, and they ain't fired you? And she was like, no, I mean, I'm just late. And he said, okay, well, in my line of work, that don't work. I can't be late. I'm flying planes. And people are waiting for me to go where they need to go. The other thing that seemed to be a concern for them, Eric showed a little bit of jealousy. A little jelly. Okay? He seems to have an issue with her having male friends. And he was like, I don't know about that. He did let her know that he sort of has a zero tolerance for cheating. He was like, one strike you're out kind of thing. And, she was just like, oh, wow, so I'll just get one chance to screw up. And he was like, yeah. Their date was well, the pool. Their date was the pool, and they had like a private cabana, which was really nice. It had, and of course she had to have a drink, child. Of course she had to have a drink. And Eric, I think, is trying to deal with that because she said she brought up the fact that at the wedding he wasn't doing a lot of drinking, and she was a little nervous about the fact that he wasn't doing a lot of drinking because she knows she liked to drink. And he was like, well, I know that I have to, take into consideration that she's younger than me, and she's partying and doing things that I'm not doing, and I'm a little bit older, I'm a little more settled, so I'm kind of open to that, to being, what's the word I'm looking for? Y'all know the word I'm looking for. But anyway, flexible. That's it. Lord, I couldn't find it. A little flexible to her lifestyle, but definitely keeping an eye on it. And there's a limit to it, I guess. A limit to it. But but it definitely came up a couple of times throughout the day about their relationships with other people and things like that. All right, so let's talk about. I don't want to talk about them yet. Paige and no, I don't want to talk about them yet. Haley and Jacob. That's what I want to talk about. So Haley and Jacob. Now Jacob, remember, is the one that's real quirky, 80s fanatic, and all of that. I feel like him and Haley are doing a better job. In this episode, they were getting to know each other a little bit better. Their date was, I think they had dinner in the aquarium or something. What was their date? I don't know. I think they went to dinner at the aquarium. And so their date was really cool. It was really nice to eat, private dinner at the aquarium. That was really nice. Because they were like in front of like the wall of the aquarium, and it was really nice. And they had, I think they had a really good conversation. Haley is embracing his quirkiness a little bit. She wore like the light up 1980s sunglasses, and he had a pair for her, so that was cute. She did wear them. And she acknowledges the fact that, her husband is a little bit extra. He's a little quirky, and she just going to get used to it, She's going to have to get used to it a little bit, and it's just not her normal thing. And I'm feeling a little bit better about them than I was before. I'm feeling a little bit better because at first I was like, oh girl, oh girl, but so I'm feeling a little bit better. But I still think they got some rocky road ahead of them. I definitely feel like they still have some very basic compatibility issues, but I definitely feel a little bit better. I don't remember a major conversation going on with them, to be honest with you. So maybe that's not a good thing because they're not that memorable. I don't know. If I think of something, I'll come back to them. Brianna and Vincent. Now, remember Vincent had that scare with his grandmother. She seems to be doing a lot better, so he's going to stay. And what we found out was that Vincent, he really appreciated her having his back and being there for him and holding him down. She was like, well, that's what I'm here for. Like, I'm your wife now. Like, that's what I'm supposed to do. That's my job. And we found out that they were intimate that night. Like, he really, and he said he felt like it was organic. Like, they didn't press it, but it was organic. And he thought it was really nice. And, they both enjoyed it. So they compatible in that area. They talked about where they wanted to live. And she was like, well, you want to live in a house, a townhouse, or a high rise? And he was like, well, I was thinking maybe a condo. But then I was thinking that a townhouse could, maybe give us room to expand when we're ready to start our family. And she was like, well, what if I want to live in a condo? And he was like, your family warned me that you was a little bit bossy. Like, if you want to stay at the condo, we can stay at the condo. He was like, okay. I mean, she was like, oh, okay, that was easy, okay. Then, they were talking about kids. And he was like, I'll be ready to start my family in like maybe, 2 years. She was like, what about 3? And she brought up a good point. She said, at the end of the day, I did agree to do this, but I really don't know this guy. So, I mean, I would feel a little bit more comfortable if we waited a couple of, waited about 3 years before we started having children. I'm kind of open to that idea. And so, he was amenable to that. He said, that's fine. 3, that's fine. But they're having really good conversations, and they are clicking really, really well. Really, really well. Now, they didn't go out on their date. We're going to get to why they didn't go out on their date in a second. But, they did end up going to dinner, and they went to dinner at the beach. The Mandalay Bay has a beach. Well, a couple of the Vegas restaurants have beaches. Hotels have beaches. And so they went to dinner at the beach, so they had their feet in the sand, and it was cute. I mean, they were, blushing at each other and giggling back and forth at each other. It was really, really cute. It was really, really cute. Um, then the bullshit happens. Okay, so let's talk about Chris and Paige. So remember I told you that the episode started with Chris having this secret he got to tell Paige what the damn secret was. They had showed us enough footage that I had figured out what the damn secret was. So here's what the secret is, y'all. The secret is Chris's ex-fiance is pregnant. She's 6 weeks pregnant. He's claiming that he just found out. I guess he just got the phone call and, she was scared to tell him and she sort of fucked up about it. He didn't want to tell Paige. He was going back and forth, not wanting to tell her, don't want to tell her. Until finally the producers was like, you have to tell her what's going on. And so he was real dramatic with it. He gonna take her in the bathroom, turn on the water, turn on the shower, tell her to take her mic off, just for her to come out and tell them what he said. I was just like, now I don't know if he did that because he didn't want her reaction to be caught on film, because he had to know that everybody was gonna find out what it was. But either way, she got dressed and got out of there. She was like, I can't. I can't. I can't. And I absolutely don't blame her. Like, I don't know how you come back from that. I don't know. I don't know how you come back from that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you come back from that. So she ended up going to talk to Brianna, and Vincent went to go talk to Chris. And they both told him what's going on. And Brianna's like me. I ain't never going to tell nobody that they need to leave their husband or break up with their man. I mean, unless it's a violent situation and your well-being is on the line. But if you're going through something because he cheated or because you mad or y'all had a bad argument or you found out he spent up all of the rent money, I'm going to listen. And I'm going to nod my head and I'm going to say, girl, I understand. I hear you. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, one, that ain't my decision to make for you. Like, I can't make that decision for you. That's number one, okay? And number two, I might go with you, girl, because you mad right now. And I be like, yup, he ain't shit. Yup, break up with him. You want me to help you pack? And then a week later, y'all friends again. But she going to remember everything you said. You don't even like my man. But you didn't like him either. So, Brianna, kudos for being there, being a shoulder to cry on, and a listening ear. Now, in her confessional, she was like, oh, she need to leave his ass because he ain't, this is too much. Like, y'all ain't even been married for 3 days. Like, you need to be on the first thing smoking. Like, no, ma'am. But she was very consoling to Paige, and Paige was saying everything that we were saying. Like, now the one thing I want to say is I can't stand that whispering that Paige does, that soft-spoken whispering. Like, is that who she really is? Is that how she really talk in real life? Because I feel like I don't remember her being that soft-spoken in the first episode when she was telling us about her, who she is and what she does and what she wants in a man. I don't remember her being that. Yeah, so it's just a lot. Just a lot to take in. I was like, girl, if you don't put some bass in your voice and say what you gotta say to him, girl. Anyway, now on the other end, Chris and Vincent are talking, and baby, Vincent don't have nothing for Chris either. Vincent is just like, wow, that's a lot. Oh my goodness, that's hard, man. Oh yeah, I understand. That's a lot. Ooh, yeah, that's Cause what do you say to that? You've been married for 2 days, and now it's bad enough you married somebody you don't know, and y'all already had this whole I'm not really attracted to you, but I'm gonna sleep with you situation. Now you having a whole baby but see, I blame this on the married at first sight people, and I'm gonna tell you why. There's no reason why Chris should have even been eligible for this show. I feel like the people that come on this show should have had to be out of a relationship for at least a year. It takes a long time to heal from a relationship. And especially something as serious as we were going to get married. We were going to get married. I blame this on y'all. And this is why you make people wait. You don't let people just jump into something this serious. after 3 months. I put this on the show. I put this on. I mean, I know y'all want drama and all that, but I put this on the show. Anyway, so they end up going to dinner, and Chris once again sweet talks his way and apologizes, and I owe you an apology, and Chris was talking funky too, but I feel like Chris was just trying to hold back tears the whole damn episode. I owe you an apology, and you deserve better than this, but you my wife, and you come before anybody else, and I mean, have you thought about being a stepmother? And she was like, well, I've been in that situation before, and that's why I know it's a hard situation to be in. I know it's, it's hard being a stepmother. Like, I've been there and done that, I'm open to it, but I don't know if I'm ready for it in this situation. She said, but it does make me feel good that you said that I'm your first priority, that I come before everybody, because, that was the problem in the last relationship. No matter what I did, his child was going to always come before me. So she done let Chris sweet talk his way back in there. Now, rumor on the street is, word on the curb is that they sign these contracts, and if they break the contract before a certain amount of time, then they got to pay the money and do this, that, and the other. I don't know, but I just would have had to pay that money. I don't know. I would have had to give me a second job, a third job, fourth job, because I'm on the plane. I'm out of there. Anyway, so the couples all meet back up. And they're kind of just going through, how things going with you? Oh, things are great with us. Oh, yeah. Who's been intimate? Oh, you've been intimate? Okay. And, of course, Paige and Chris are kind of sitting there like they're there, because I'm sure they have to be there, but they are just not really in the conversation or whatever. And so, finally, it kind of comes around to them like, hey, y'all good? What's going on? What's up? What's up? And he was like, now, this is where I put this on Paige. Paige, you were wrong for this. Paige says, well, I think we need to tell them. I mean, they're going to find out anyway. How are they going to find out anyway? At least not right now. Like, y'all literally just got that news that day. Y'all need to sit in it for a minute before y'all go sharing it with everybody else. Because here's the problem. When you open up your story to everybody else, what you are also opening up to everybody else is their opinions. And right now, y'all don't need other people's opinion about anything, because y'all ain't figured it out yet. Paige tells all of them about the situation with the wife, with the ex-wife, the fiance. Well, of course, Clara is like, girl, I'm on the first thing smoking. I'm getting the hell up out of here. And they have a whole conversation about it. You could tell Chris is getting irritated. You could tell he doesn't want to talk about it. You could tell, and they're like, well, we got your back, man. Whatever you need, we here to support you, whatever. So Eric and, what's the face come in late? Eric and, who's Eric's wife name, child? I'm learning these people's names. Eric and, I remember Eric's wife name. Claire, no, that's Ryan and Claire. Shit. Virginia, my bad. So Virginia and Eric, they came in late, and so of course they had to tell the story all over again. The first thing out of Virginia's mouth is, you gonna get a paternity test? Is it yours? Let's be clear. I don't think that's a crazy question. I don't think that's a crazy question. That was it. He gets irritated by that. And then Eric starts saying some stuff that irritates Chris. But at this point, I think it didn't matter what anybody said. I think Chris was just going to be irritated by it. He ends up getting up and walking off. Paige goes after him. They come back to the group. And basically, Chris was just like, listen, can we just change the subject? I don't want to talk about it anymore. Like, with all due respect, like, I really just don't want to talk about it anymore. And he gets more and more irritated with the whole situation. It's to the point where it almost gets very combative. So now people are looking at him like, well, damn, he ain't got to be rude about it. But I just feel like y'all should have read the room. Now, I get it that production was probably standing behind the camera telling y'all, keep talking. Like, I get that. But then don't be mad at his reaction. Because at a certain point, and I ain't no Chris fan by any stretch of the imagination, but damn, what more y'all want him to say about it? Like, he been talking about it all day. What more y'all want him to say about it? Give him a minute to process. Like, he literally has had in less than 72 hours, his whole life has been turned upside down in more ways than one. Let him process, okay? But again, I'm sure a lot of that had to do with production, standing in the background, telling people to say it and talk about it and do this and do that. Anyway, y'all, that's the episode. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in the comments. Peace.